I will check to see who's here in just a minute. It's Tuesday. Oops. I brought up the wrong live stream. I got a lot of them up because I want to give ample notice for people to come and check out some of the great guests, including
slow. I told you.
Sorry, including this evening, the Esoteric Lounge, the Divine Feminine, which is going to be a theme throughout the week. Hey, Mustafa. How are you, my friend? That's okay. Mustafa, you never have to apologize to us. Hey, Sissy. Sissy, you are going to enjoy this afternoon's guest. Hopefully he's going to dive into a bit of his view of the shadow and how insidious it can be in every aspect of our life, and a meditation on how to see through the shadow. We should really make no mistake that if you are seeing something that triggers you, you are seeing your own shadow. What an opportunity online for everyone to do that deep shadow work that we might, especially me. I don't see a whole lot of people right now in my everyday life. I'm fairly isolated. I bump into people sometimes when I walk in the afternoon or go running. Occasionally people, when I make a trip to the store. But overall, I can go the whole day. Even living with my brother, sometimes I don't see him. I can go a whole day without seeing anyone. But online, someone's going to press your button. And someone's going to press your button, and you might not even realize that your button has been pressed, that the trigger has been set in place, and that you've actually pulled it. If you have any response that is not of, at the very best, at the very worst, neutrality, at the very best, absolute love, tenderness, compassion, empathy, someone who's pulling the trigger, or someone who set that trigger in place, we are the only ones who pull the trigger. They're suffering, they're hurt, and they've actually done you a great service. They don't realize it, but they have, because they've exposed to you that we're not there yet. None of us are. Or we wouldn't be in a body, or we wouldn't be here, or we wouldn't still have an ego that we identify so strongly with. All of that is good stuff, because now we get to work with it. Everything changes with a gentle smile. Someone shows up, and if you have a response that is anything other than compassion and love, it's the shadow, it's the ego, it's projection, all meaning the same thing. You get an opportunity to heal. What a wonderful opportunity. Bless that person. As Monday before last, Dove Fishman, bless your triggers. Hey Anna, how are you? Parajat, how are you? Sniper? What's up, Lee? Hey Charlie. I go for days and days where I don't physically see anyone at all, unless it's online here on YouTube. Yeah, you and I are similar in that regard. Lee says, that's so true, Yogi. I love that. It's a gentle practice, though. We don't fight, we don't battle, we don't suit up and get ready to go battle the ego. We just recognize it, and then we can love it. It's showing us something. Even worse is spiritual bypassing. That we are at this level. We can recognize what's going on, and I will correct it. Spiritual bypassing. We are not here to correct anyone. We are here to gently correct ourselves through forgiveness. Forgiveness is such an easy practice, such a gentle practice. We're not saying, I forgive this person. That would be difficult, if not impossible. Truly so. But to just say, to just recognize, to just look and say, I see the struggle that you're going through, because I'm going through it too. I see the light, the Christ, the Krishna consciousness within you, because I wish to see it in myself. Lesson 75, of Course in Miracles, the light has come. Meaning it's already here. You don't have to search for the light. It's here. But you do need to recognize it. That's forgiveness. I recognize, that's the essence of namaste. The divinity, the light within me, recognizes and salutes and appreciates and loves the light that is within you. First, I got to find it. I got to find it within myself. And guess the easiest way of finding it? You might think contemplation. You might think meditation. You might think shamanic journey. Useful tools for calming the mind. But when the mind is calm, I will only find that light, my own light, reflected from you. Thank you. Honestly, thank you for showing me my light. This has been the work of my life. I thought the work of my life was, in the late 80s, 90s, through the early 2000s. I thought it was writing spiritual poetry, but writing. I thought it was then teaching aspects of yoga, breath work, meditation. No, the great work of my life is forgiveness, so that I can recognize the own light within me. That's why I say thank you. Hey, Kat. I didn't see you sneak in. I woke up this morning and everything was different and I couldn't find you. Everything was different. Kat, there's no need to ever find me because I will always be right there. Hey, Marlon. Project says, morning to, I got to put my shoes on, guys. Sitting here talking like I got all day. Which I do. Hey, so our friend, Mark Landau, is coming up to talk this afternoon. Hold on. He was very closely working with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the founder of Transcendental Meditation, very, very famous. One of the most recognizable figures from the 1960s through the 70s. And he actually left. I guess after 5 years, he worked with some other teachers. He's meditated in all kinds of other traditions. He fell upon some hard times spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. And it was only when he developed a meditation he calls the I love you, I forgive you meditation, which is deep shadow work, that he felt healed. Hold on. Shoe number 1. These shoes, after a year, are finally starting to feel comfortable. Yeah, I was looking at my beard. So bring your shadow questions, bring your meditation questions, and then he give me 1 second. I want to get the book title right. I am not familiar with this book. But it's made a significant impact on him since 2013. Ringing Cedars of Russia books. This is teaching, I don't know if it's channel teaching or not, Anastasia, she was abandoned as a young girl. And her family, remaining family, left her alone in the woods, basically. They helped her, sheltered her, I guess, in some ways, but they largely left her to be raised by nature in the woods. And she developed a very deep intuitive sense of what nature was saying, specifically the ringing cedars. So, hey, Mark Landau actually posted me on a tribe, the Ringing Cedars tribe. So he's probably going to talk quite a bit about the Ringing Cedars. I invited him as a guest, so what he talks about is what he talks about. Speaking of posting, Sniper actually posted the link to the Esoteric Lounge. Was it Archaic? So maybe we'll get some more people show up to listen to Sniper. All right, one more shoe to go. What's going on, Kat? Hey, Estot. Hey, Chris. Chris, are you up early or up late? Lee says, Justin, well, does the elbow issue improve the work? Oh, hey, Justin. Oh, you hang drywall. I've told all my apprentices, lose your ego. I've lost mine. I miss it, but much clearer in my work for more, no more bumping elbows. So what do you miss about the ego? Simple says you never lose the ego. It's not the loss of the ego. It's usually focused on the management, integration, or realization of the self. My own thoughts is all you have to do is recognize it. Recognize that you have those two thought systems. If you're in a body, you're going to have an ego. Recognize I can choose the ego, which keeps me egocentric. I don't mean that in the look at me, in the narcissist type of way, but egocentric meaning that my world view is shaped by, as George Harrison says about the ego, I, me, mine. All through the day, all through the night, I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, be mine. Wonderful song, by the way. Hey, Sean. All we got to do is recognize it, and then everything changes. Wow, I was about to choose the ego thought system. I can choose the thought system. The Course calls it the Holy Spirit. I love that my Friday guest calls it your internal therapist, your inner therapist. I like inner guide as well. Or remember, it's a symbol, so you can choose the symbol that works best for you. The Course also uses the symbol of Jesus, which is a beautiful symbol but it also comes with some baggage for many people. Sean says, I find Stoicism works for me. Does for many. Hey, Carl. Good morning, everyone. Just passing through. I appreciate that. That says, what's up, Carl? All right, guys. Shoe number 2. Fortunately, I only have to do this. It's a big task for the day. All right. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking to Mark. I became familiar with Mark about probably over a decade ago. I have 2 of his books on e-format, Kindle. Been Facebook friends for a while, but we never really communicated. You know, the reason why Cat and Jack likes me is because I'm friends with some pretty famous people on Facebook. I'm friends with Van Morrison's ex-wife. How's that for fame, guys? You know Mark Landau, who's coming up this afternoon? Not only did he meet Mahesh Yogi, he met Mike Love of the Beach Boys, widely considered to be the biggest asshole in rock and roll. I'm not saying that. I'm saying widely considered. And he met Buckminster Fuller and Jonas Salk, who came up with the polio vaccine. If you got that little mark on your arm, I don't remember which arm, hey, you can thank Jonas Salk for that. Sean says, kind of strange because I find my blend of Catholicism and Stoicism works wonders in my life. I'm glad that you have something that works wonders in your life, my friend. I was raised a Catholic. It did not work very well for me, but that's because we're seldom ever taught how to practice being a Catholic or a Christian. We're taught, hey, believe that in Jesus lies your salvation. but we're not taught how to cultivate the Christ within us so that we can have a life of service towards others, which is what Jesus did, what Jesus taught. So normally I focus on my beard. Right now I'm focusing on my mustache. I'm not pleased with my mustache. Is it really worth facial hair if I have to go through so much trouble? I think it'd be easy. Don't do anything. Don't wake up in the morning and shave, and life is easy, right? Oh yeah, today's the day you get to choose between 3 dogs, or as I like to think, Charlie's going to bring home 3 dogs. Just planting the seed. Just planting the seed. Tesla 369, Perjat says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I'm not so sure I'm interested in the secrets of the universe. Thermite says, attempting to prove a God or God doesn't exist implies the possibility of being a God or God. That's why I am an agnostic, as long as it works for you. I hear that you're saying, so Stoicism addresses the stage within us. I love, you know what, I think Stoicism is a beautiful practice. It's often misunderstood as just being forbearing of something. But it's also about finding the beauty with those things that occur. It's a deeply compassionate way of living. Default says, 3 dogs, I choose the best, tasting in order, German Shepherd, Corky. Don't know what a Corky is. Basket Hound, don't know what a Basket Hound is. From least to greatest. Only thing I recognized was the German Shepherd. And it says she's thinking about adopting a dog too, Charlie. I think adopting a dog is a beautiful thing. There's a lot to be said for getting a puppy and raising it with you, because it's such a great bond. Man, and who doesn't love a puppy? And who doesn't appreciate being loved by a puppy? But, you know, every dog, in my opinion, stays a puppy. Always a puppy. So if you adopt an older dog, you're still getting a puppy. You're just getting an older puppy. The joy that you could give a dog, that older puppy, by bringing him home. Semper says, a corgi, the queen's dogs. I had a corgi. Mental is letting us know his testosterone level, and you didn't have to let us know that. It's okay. You are where you are. Charlie says 2 of the 3 are over a year, and a third is 3 years old. 3 years old. Nice. Do you know? Hey, do you already know what kind they are? Hey, Flora, my friend. Flora, are you feeling better? I hope so. So yeah, today, this afternoon, Mark Landau. This evening, the Esoteric Cafe opens its doors at 5:25. Sniper is going to be talking about the Divine Feminine. I will pipe in occasionally. Tomorrow, Karen Palmer. We're going to talk about kindness and Course in Miracles. Friday, Corinne Zupko. I've really been looking forward to Corinne for a while. I reached out to her a couple months ago, but she's finally free. Saturday, Elizabeth Conkite. We're going to talk about Course in Miracles and non-duality. Project says, hey, you're going to tell me something about mysticism. Not sure what to say about mysticism. That's basically all that we talk about, right? Not understanding the mystery, but living the mystery. If you could understand the mystery, it wouldn't be a mystery, right? And I don't think you need to understand, because you are it. And that's all mysticism is discovering and living who you are without, this is, Meister Eckhart always called it the ineffable. You can't understand the ineffable because it's beyond the understanding, but you can know it because you are it. So the only role of mysticism is removing that which stands between you and the light. And yet the light is already here. Let me bring up A Course in Miracles online version real quick. We're going to go to the introduction. You might often hear everyone in the course, and I bring it up with almost every course teacher that comes up. The holographic nature of A Course in Miracles in any spiritual text. If you get one thing, you get the entirety. So I love this part in the introduction. The course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can truly have no opposite. I added the truly in myself, by the way. So, mysticism doesn't aim at teaching us the way of God or the way of love. What it does is it helps remove the blocks to the awareness of God's presence, the awareness of love's presence. For me, that's mysticism. It's really summed up. Meister Eckhart says, the eye in which I see God is the same eye in which God sees me. Just checking the time, guys. Did I miss someone? Sorry, I was reading Nick's comment. Our virtues and our failings are inseparable, like force and matter. If you know your virtues, then you can see you have no failings. Only the ego will recognize the failings. And with the ego being a thought, belief construct, it can't recognize truth. Sipper says the ultimate esoteric act is not to acquire secrets, but to dissolve the self that holds them. When the seeker ceases, the thought is found, for the mirror shatters and the veil becomes the face. There's a great Zen koan. It's found in Sufism as well. Your face. What did your face look like before you were born? What did your face look like before your parents or grandparents were born? Yes. The ego is the cause of anxiety. Anxiety wouldn't exist without the ego. Again, this isn't to paint the ego as something that we battle, as an evil entity residing in us. It's a thought system, just a thought system. It's based upon the fear that we are separate and alone in a vast and impersonal universe, that we are on the edge of the abyss and we are shaking our fists angrily at God, that we could somehow be insignificant, that we could somehow be separate from God. It's an impossibility. This is why the Course talks about the tiny mad idea. Into that state of perfect oneness, the mind of God itself, in which we existed as ideas within the mind of God, crept a tiny mad idea in which we remembered not to laugh. The tiny mad idea was the birth of the ego. What would it be like if we were our own creators? What would it be like if we could have a life outside of this oneness of heaven? The universe before the universe, the ineffable before the Big Bang, Brahma, the Godhood, the Godhead. Just a tiny mad idea, but because we remember not to laugh at it, and because we are within the mind of God as powerful in our co-creation with that singular mind, we created this world. It was a world to hide in. It is a world to experience duality. With duality comes anxiety. What if we really are alone? What if I, the ego, what if I can't fix this? What if this is bigger than me? What if this is the issue that is going to destroy me? What if, and here's the biggest outcome of anxiety, I don't know. What if I don't know? What if I am imagining the worst case scenario? What if this happens? What if, that great unknown, what's going to happen tomorrow? Is it going to be worse than today? Because today was pretty bad. The ego always deals in projection. So we take that fear, we project it into the future. We take the fear that we experienced yesterday, the day before, a year ago, a decade ago. Some pretty bad times, right? We take that fear of the first thing that we did when we came into this world was gasp for breath and then got smacked. We were punished from the get-go. No wonder we're damaged. The names are Tut, Timber, and Justin. I like it. Zip says, ego loves putting others in order of best to least, and the ego will let them all know one way or the other. Anna says she loves the name, Charlie. Thank you for telling us. Absolutely. Sissy says, Holy Spirit recognizes all as equally yoked. No comparison, no competition, only collaboration and co-creation. And you just summed up forgiveness. That's how we forgive. We, speaking as an ego, don't forgive, we bargain. We compartmentalize, we negotiate. I will forgive you if, when, only when this occurs. If I feel better, I will forgive you. If you are truly, truly sorry, I will forgive you. If you do this for me, I will forgive you. I will forgive you as long as you never do this again. Bargaining tools of the ego. Holy Spirit, of which we turn things over. Remember, we don't forgive. We don't say, I will forgive this or that or you or them. We turn everything to the Holy Spirit and we say, I would rather be at peace. I love Miss Flipper. She quotes from A Course in Miracles, selective remembering. It could remember all the bad things you do, says the ego. I will only see and remember the light of which you truly are, says the Holy Spirit. I will find, recognize, and appreciate the Christ within you, so I can recognize and appreciate and love the Christ within me. A few more minutes, guys. Project says, is empty mind the God mind? Yes. Don't know if I would actually use those terms. The mind is never really empty. The mind serves as capacity for everything, which is God. God being the capacity and the ground of being for everything. And it says, I would rather be at peace. And that's the choice we have in every moment. Someone comes into a live stream, offers you a trigger. You can literally say, I can choose the trigger of the ego and experience all that comes from that, which is could be anxiety, it could be fear, it could be um, anger, frustration, aggressiveness, all aspects of the ego. Again, we're not making the ego bad. We're just recognizing the thought system and what it produces. This is the value of meditation. Meditation brings us a very soft awareness of everything occurring. I am aware of everything in this room, but I can put my attention on something specific. Attention is a lens of awareness. So, in all awareness, we have the illusion of the ego, a thought construct. We also have the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is part of the illusion as well, but it is a useful illusion that is the voice for, not the voice of, but the voice for God. Hey, Pop Tarts, my friend, how are you? Hey, where are you as far as your subs? You've come up your channel. Guys, our friend Pop Tarts is trying to get to 50 subs so he can live stream again. He is rebuilding his channel. He is already there. He's at 51, but let's get him all the way over. If you go to his description, by the way, he sums it up very nicely. He actually sums up his spiritual views very nicely. It's beautiful. In 3 words. How many people can sum up a spiritual view in 3 words? Pop-Tart says, yum, yum, yum. That's the appetite for life, guys. Chris says, what if you do meditate and you get awareness that you need to find a friendship, end a friendship, because it brings you nothing but unhappy. It never feels fulfilling. It's a great question. Everything that we do, this is where we talked about this with Miss Blipper, levels of confusion. At the level of the body, which is the ego made manifest, we sometimes need to put boundaries in place. We sometimes need to end friendships, relationships. We sometimes need to do things to protect ourselves. At the level of the body, someone commits a crime, they go to prison. It has nothing to do with forgiveness, because forgiveness doesn't take place at the level of the body. Forgiveness takes place at the level of the heart, at the level of the mind, the infinite mind. So you can forgive that relationship, that friendship. You can see that there is the light of Christ within them, but they are experiencing a struggle of the ego, and you can look for it, you can recognize it. That's at the level of the mind. No one's going to see that, but you'll know it. You will know that when you've cut ties, you didn't really cut ties. You were just having to do what you need to do at the level of the body. So a lot of times with level confusion, we think, I'm going to tough it out. I'm going to put myself in harm's way. I'm going to endure this relationship. The Holy Spirit never asks you to endure anything. There's no need. You can love someone probably at this point better. You can forgive deeper and more fully when you say, at the level of the body, I just can't do it. I need some space. So you turn it over to the Holy Spirit. You give that person space. You still do the work. You still work on forgiveness. Doesn't mean that you need to be up close and personal with that person. The work is the work, no matter where you find yourself. But if it's too overwhelming to be involved with that person, then it's too overwhelming to be involved with that person. Just know at the level of the mind, there really is no involvement. There just is love. So you turn it over to the Holy Spirit. And as we practice, and that's all the Course Miracles is, it's practicing turning everything over to the symbol of the Holy Spirit instead of the symbol of the ego. The thought system of the Holy Spirit instead of the thought system of the ego. So hand it over, ask for guidance. If the guidance says space, give them space. Be open for what the message is. Popstar says, having my Tim Hortons, my cat got me out of bed, attacking my big toe. Well, your big toe kind of deserved it, and you know what that big toe did. I don't want to have this debate with you again, my friend. Let's just say that big toe has caused trouble for the last time as far as the cat is concerned. Hey, Ike. Your mind body has been taken over by demons. I am sorry to hear that. The true mind, the one mind, the infinite mind, the mind of God can never ever be overtaken by demons, because the mind is the mind of God, and there are no demons in the kingdom. However, as long as we see them, as long as we recognize them, they are something that we might have to deal with. Everything changes through the lens of forgiveness, my friend. Flora has connected to Pop-Tarts. Thank you, Flora. I know Pop-Tarts will connect back. Hey, Lucy. Lucy, how was your live stream? Get some unicorn vibes. Ladies, hey, Lady Sky. Good morning, Yogi and everyone. Hope everyone is doing well, and happy Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. You having tacos today? I know sometimes talk of the ego can frustrate people because, one, they believe it's a real thing instead of simply being a thought system that we have strongly identified with. Again, we don't have to do anything. Don't fight the ego. Don't battle the ego. Just recognize that I don't always have to choose it. If I'm choosing love, if I'm choosing forgiveness, if I'm choosing kindness and compassion, then I'm choosing the Holy Spirit. If I am choosing anything otherwise, I am choosing the ego. I love Ken Wapnick, who's become my imaginary teacher since he passed away in 2013. I love how he always says, it's okay. It's okay to choose the ego. Just know what you get when you choose it. Don't punish yourself. Just know the results. If you wish to feel a little bit better, a lot better, then choose the Holy Spirit. It's that simple. I always loved The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy too, Pop-Tarts. Hey, Chris, did that make any sense, the answer? I used to like, whenever I would make it to Canada, I used to like Tim Hortons coffee. Lady Sky says, not sure if Aunt will do any tacos today, Yogi, but I will know, though, if she does make them today. I will let you know. Awesome. Lucy says, it went well. We can tear it again Friday. Internet is down on my phone. Ah, gotcha. Sorry, your internet is down. Super says, the ego recognizes the ego talk, and if you're not ready on that frequency, then expect a reaction within an action. Chris says, yes, it does make sense. The important thing is, and I think Mark this afternoon is going to talk about it, the most, keep using the word insidious, the most insidious type of bypassing is spiritual bypassing. I'm so spiritual that I can instantly forgive you and everything will be fine. That I will, I have forgiven you, so everything is okay in this relationship. But that's not the case. Then it becomes part of the shadow. Then it becomes projected outwards. uh, and we just project it upon someone else, or we project it upon ourselves. Um, so feel what you feel, accept it. It's okay to feel what you feel. There's no more spiritual or less spiritual. I'm not so spiritual that I forgive you. Or I am so spiritual that I will forgive you. Bypassing only hurts. If you are angry, if you are frustrated, if you are disillusioned with a relationship or someone specifically, just feel it. Recognize that you're choosing the ego. And right now, it's okay to choose the ego. There's a wound that needs to be healed. But ask for a miracle. I would like to be at peace with this, even if the relationship is over on the level of the body. So I hand it over to the Holy Spirit. That's what a miracle is. A miracle is a shift of perception. And sometimes that shift is simply saying, this person is struggling, doing the best that they can, but they are so deeply enthroned. That's a word, right? With the ego, that they see no other response. They're so hurtful, they're lashing out in ways that would be unimaginable to spirit itself. And because I myself am still in a vulnerable state, still in a vulnerable sense, still capable of choosing the ego and responding with the ego, the safest thing I can do is take some steps back, offer love, and do my own work. It's never about working on someone else. It's always about working on ourselves. Chris, your friend, is giving you an opportunity. You recognize the triggers and you do your own healing work, but that might involve distance, right? You can't heal if you're still picking at the scab. And when we stay at the level of the body in a relationship, then we're continuously picking at that scab. We think it's almost healed, we've almost had a breakthrough, and bam, the scab gets torn off. This is the most time I've used the word scab in a single conversation my entire life. Against the Odds says it's easy to forgive people when you got one foot in the grave. You think so? Against the Odds says listening to the old is like reading a book already done and over. I love the great line in the Course that says, the one holy true thing that one can say about the past is that it's not here. Or Gerald Jambowski, a great teacher of the Course, he wrote, love is letting go of fear and teach only love. That forgiveness is giving up all hope of a better yesterday, of a better past. You will never have a better past. It's an impossibility. All right, guys, we're going to get ready to head out. Pop Tart says, Yogi, remember, it's always greener over the septic tank. This is true. There you go. Mustafa sums it up nicely. The fear-based thinking system. The ego is a thought system that relies primarily on fear, inadequacy, judgment, comparison, and conflict. And remember, it only does that. This is where compassion comes into play. It only does that for self-preservation. We truly, truly, truly believe that we are the ego, that we are our thoughts. We are the narrator in the mind instead of being the witness to the narrator in the mind. We truly believe that. So does other people. So does other people. So do other people. Chris says, I have been able to forgive the toughest part of me. Toughest part for me is I'm good about moving on. I don't struggle with moving forward. I believe in moving on yet. I have experienced outside influence not respecting. That is my normal. Here's the wonderful thing about forgiveness. It's an ongoing process. People think that you should do otherwise. From their own egoic perspective. So when you see everyone is fighting their own hard battle. And it's easier for them to project upon you than to deal with their shadow figures. So they project those shadows on you. But Chris, you never have to own it. I'm at a loss for the title. Tuglen meditation in Buddhism. It is really accepting karmic patterns or the shadow from another and transmuting it within yourself, your own alchemical laboratory. Mustafa says, Lady Sky, I've watched your videos and what you do in the dessert recipes. It's truly beautiful. The old man is the old man. I wouldn't even call it a man, honestly. Am I going for a jog? I don't know if I'll do any jogging this morning. I will definitely do fast-paced walking. I've managed to, towards the end of my racing career, I did a whole lot of, not race walking, because race walking, you have to adhere to specific rules. The front foot has to be, and I've done race walking competitions, the front leg has to be straight as it hits the floor. The feet, both feet always have to be on the ground, in contact. Or at least at once. I forget the actual rule. Anyway, there's rules involved. But take that race walking form and then loosen it up. Disobey all the rules. And you have a very, very fast walking pace. My last 50K race ended up being more than 50K. It actually ended up being about 36 miles. And I did it in 7 hours and 14 minutes. Which is only a little bit slower. And I was middle of the pack. So I beat a lot of runners. They say a good indicator of how you're aging, if you can still maintain a sub 15-minute walking pace, 15 minute miles. So yesterday, I think my fastest mile walking was 13:46. I think that's why I wear the watch. Just information. Doesn't mean anything. But I'll be out again in the afternoon. I'll do my walk. Then in a little while, I'll do my workout. Today's an easy workout. Yesterday was kettlebells. I've been doing a little isometric routine. I found my blood pressure, for whatever reason, is higher. Not high, still well below any signs of danger, but I don't like it being higher. High blood pressure does run in my family. I've never had any trouble with it. Usually it's low. I should post, I got a photo of my blood pressure. I used to take the blood pressure with my dad because I had to take his 3 times a day when he was suffering the congestive heart failure. And I would take mine with him, something we did together. And I continued it for probably a year after he passed away. It was just a way of, it became part of a meditation for me, connecting with my dad in that ritual that we had together. Just how much I miss my dad. And I think at one time it was 103/58. And I used to amaze my doctor doing breath work. I would take my blood pressure and they'd say, wow, that's really good. And I said, well, it could be better. And they'd be like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, give me 10 breaths. And I would do 10 breaths and I would lower it 10 points on both ends. I didn't check it for a long while, and I checked it and I was surprised. Again, it was still, I think yesterday I took it and it was 110 over 69, something like that, which again is low, but a little higher than I wanted. So anyway, isometrics are really good at lowering the blood pressure. So I put on my Tabata timer. Tabata is a workout protocol where you do a high effort, 20 seconds, you rest for 10, you do 8 rounds, and I will do burpees Tabata style, and then I'll do isometrics Tabata style, but you're not going for speed. You're holding plank position, wall squat, and isometric curls, where you use light dumbbells and you just hold the halfway position. 20 seconds, take 10 seconds to go into the next exercise. Does wonders, by the way, for the blood pressure. Isometrics, surprisingly, especially combined with breath work, as well as finger presses. Press your fingers together. Bring them together, separate them, press your fingers together, hold it for 15 seconds. Pressing hard, but not, super hard. Rest for 10. Do that for 10 rounds. See what it does for your blood pressure. Lisa says she has high blood pressure. Breathwork will definitely help with that, as does meditation. I guess all I'd say is, hey, Yogi, if you're about to end, I am, my friend. I just want to let you know I'm not being negative on purpose to see how people react. You are being negative on purpose to see how people react. An experimental thing. I'm sorry if it offended you. Are wise and love. Didn't offend me in the least, my friend. Not the first time that I have been the subject of a secret medical investigation. Let's just say that the last time I was involved in a secret medical experiment, had a full head of hair, and I was 40 years old. Now look at me. Sometimes these experiments go awry, my friend. We have to be responsible. You're fine, my friend. Against the odds, you're fine. It's all cool. Lady Sky says, my cousin decided to set me up on a blind date with a coworker from her work today. I'm a bit nervous about it, Yogi. Lady Sky, you are a beautiful person with a really fun and loving personality. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Pop Tart says, don't do experiments for a few extra bucks. Now you tell me. A little late, my friend. You could have saved me a full head of hair in 20 years. Let's Squirrel Sniper tell you guys some live stream about the Philadelphia experiment. All right, guys, so we're going to head out. I'm going to do my walk, my workout. I will be back at 1 o'clock. Mark Landau is coming up. I'm looking forward to it. I got his ebook up right now. Just because it's been so long since I've read it. Sissy's laughing. Pop Tart says, thanks. Lucy says, you will be just fine, Lady Sky, and have fun. Excellent advice. Thank you, Sissy. Sissy drops the link. Sniper says, that didn't work out well for anyone. It did not. It did not. Lady Sky says, I hope so. Thank you, Yogi. When I arrived here in Texas, my cousin told me she set me up on a blind date. I've never really been on a blind date. Mustafa says we'll be waiting for you at 1 p.m. Yogi. Hey Jamie. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the conversation. I don't really interview people. We just talk. We just have conversations. Thank you, Pop Tart. Pop Tart drops his link. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the live stream. Love you guys. I'll see you at 1 o'clock.